What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Dima, Inspector Gadget Music! So guys, it happened. There was a Dolton Trustee meeting yesterday, and some news was announced. Drum roll, please! There is going to be somebody who will investigate Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Who is that person? Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. And that will probably be eclipsed after Brandon Johnson is done in his tenure. But the city of Chicago did terrible underneath her. For example, big companies left Chicago. Crime went up despite the fact that she spent a lot of money on police. And then there was a lot of unaccountability, like this clip.
Smash and grab robberies surging in Chicago. But the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, blames retailers. You got to tell me more.
She did. She blamed the retailers, and she should apologize for saying this.
Some of the retailers downtown in Michigan Avenue, I will tell you, I'm disappointed that they're not doing more to take safety and make it a priority. For example, we still have retailers that won't institute plans like having security officers in their stores, locking up their merchandise at night, chaining high-end bags. These purses seem to be something that is attracting a lot of attention on these organized retail theft units.
Then, instead of really dealing with the issues, because every mayor or politician has criticisms, here's what she has said about why she gets criticism.
Well, Sally, the mayor told Channel 11's Chicago Tonight broadcast that virtually all of the criticism she faces comes because she's a black woman.
About 99% of it.
Expand on that.
Well, I mean, look at my predecessors. Did people say that Rich Daley held tea sessions with people that he didn't disagree on? Rahm Emanuel was a polite guy who was a uniter? No. Women and people of color are always held to a different standard.
That's right. She's criticized because she's black. This is the same thing that Tiffany Henyard says. This is interesting because Lori Lightfoot is a lesbian married to, you guessed it, a white woman. But fast forward, Lightfoot is a Democrat, a progressive Democrat from what I understand. And to be fair, she's an excellent trial attorney from what I understand. She went to University of Chicago School of Law. She was a former federal prosecutor. And I had an opportunity to talk to one of the brothers on the trustee board, and he was giving me his reasonings for why they wanted to do this. And one of the reasons is because, well, she's a former mayor and a former federal prosecutor, so she would be able to investigate somebody knowing both sides of the fence. When you listen at that, it does somewhat make sense. But unfortunately, that's not how people felt when they heard this decision.
And I'm Casey Cronus, live in South Suburban Dolton, where a highly anticipated meeting ends in the hiring of former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. She is now tasked with investigating the village's embattled mayor, Tiffany Henyard, who did not show up tonight.
She has more authority to get what we're missing, to seal this deal and take our community back.
Lightfoot starts her new role as special investigator for the village of Dolton tomorrow. She will be launching a probe into Henyard's mishandling of village funds. A trustee tonight says the village is more than $7 million in debt. Henyard last month vetoed calls for an investigation into herself, but that was overturned tonight. Lightfoot has also been asked to investigate a work trip to Las Vegas last year, which resulted in a former employee alleging she was sexually assaulted by a village trustee, then fired for speaking up. That trustee was one of two not in attendance tonight, along with Henyard. The move to hire Lightfoot was made by 4 village trustees who say they are looking to take their community back. Earlier today, Michael Delgado, who was hired by Mayor Henyard, as the village's prosecutor sent a letter to the legal team representing the trustees, stating that if Lightfoot is appointed as additional legislative counsel, it would violate code, and Henyard will not approve any payments to the former Chicago mayor, claiming her appointment would violate the law because the trustees already have an attorney. Tonight, Bert Odelson, one of the lawyers for the trustees, responded, saying that to avoid another lawsuit, they wouldn't move to appoint Lightfoot as additional counsel, rather a special investigator.
I commit to you that I will follow the facts where they lead without bias. At the conclusion of this investigation, I will provide an assessment of the findings and the recommendations, and I welcome and urge the full cooperation by Mayor Henyard, her staff, all village trustees, vendors, and others.
That's right. Lori Lightfoot is now appointed in Dolton Mayor investigation at the rate of $400 an hour. Now, I want to go ahead and read some of the comments here because people are upset about this. So let's read this one. So a failed ex-mayor investigating another failed mayor. Yes, this seems reasonable. So the corrupt mayor will be investigated by another corrupt mayor. All right. So here's another one. James Barber says, get prepared for the usual. We investigated ourselves and found we did nothing wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Another 30K down the drain. Okay. Then you have Mike Merrill. Why in the world would you hire a politician to investigate a politician? Big mistake. Then we have this one. What authority? Lightfoot is not a government investigator. She's a private citizen. And this one is probably the most telling comment. Now my sympathy for this village is gone. This was such a terrible decision and the dumbest mistake this town could have ever made. Now, let me kind of just go over that. And again, I told the trustee, I won't say, who his name was or her name was, but I said, listen, if you guys drop the ball on this, Dolton is forever in the spotlight, right? So because you're forever in the spotlight, everything that you guys do is going to be severely criticized forever because people will always check on the village of Dolton after this. And this is a problem that Dolton has went through. Now, obviously I understood the reasoning because, okay, well, just because she's a ex-politician and in the same Democratic Party, it doesn't mean that she's not a great lawyer. She could, in fact, be a great lawyer, a great prosecuting attorney. That could be different. Some of us are good business owners and maybe we're not good fathers or good husbands or good wives. It could happen. But the reality is that you're hiring somebody seen in Cook County as one of the worst mayors of all time. She's one of the few mayors that have never repeated her election, being elected for another term. She was the first in like 50 years not to do that because she was so bad, and she was even replaced by somebody worse than her. So also allegations of corruption came across Lightfoot, which means that the decision making in the city of Dolton is going to be questioned. Now it's left to be seen because I can see where it looks like a good idea because of the history of Lori Lightfoot, and she was a federal prosecutor. However, here's why I think people were looking to be hired. A Republican, conservative, white person to get Dolton out of this fixed. I'm going to tell you why. Because of what happened with Tiffany Henyard. Not saying this is the right thing. And what has been happening in the city of Dolton for the last 20 years. The elephant in the room is nobody believes a black prosecuting attorney that is in the same political party will come in and fix this. What they were looking for is somebody of another race, another political party. That person could have been Hispanic or white that would have came in and handled this in the state of Illinois. That would have indicated that Dolton was ready to change its perspective going forward. But it looks like for many people, same-ish, different toilet. I don't really know what to say, but what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.